Welcome to another episode of the Matter Over Mind Experience. I'm your host, Master Trainer, and Weight Management Expert, Narado Zeco Powell. And today, I have another short and sweet episode for you because I want to talk about something that we still are learning about, and a lot of people still do not put enough attention on as they're beginning or maybe even continuing their weight management journey. And that's protein. I want to break down the importance of protein and even give you a recommendation of adequate protein for weight loss. Actually, let me say weight management, not just weight loss. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is oftentimes, people we try to overdo our cardio, or we may even weight lift some. And we know that nutrition is very important, but protein plays a specific role in that. And we need to truly understand that. And so not only am I going to give you a broad overview of how important protein is, but I'm going to give you some direct recommendations to help you to get it in to your routine. Now, before I begin, I want to remind everyone that the Zeco recommendation page is live. You'll be able to click on it in the description of the podcast, and you'll see some fantastic supplements that I've used over the years and continue to use. And the codes are there for you to save some money on those fantastic products as well. So I want to make sure I talk about that, because supplementation is something that's also important, but you have to have the correct habits and routine set aside first. And this is why I do these shorts, is to get you those so you can get your results, but also add in your supplementation as needed. So let's talk about protein. Now, the first thing I want to bring up with protein is increased metabolism. You see, protein requires more energy to digest compared to like fats and carbs, right? Which it leads to a temporary boost in your metabolism and aiding caloric burning. Now, so what I mean by that, protein, because it requires more energy, it then allows your body to create more heat, which is a thermogenic effect. And because it does so, then you can burn more calories at rest. And that's something we do not pay enough attention to, because we spend time in the gym or we work out and we run, so on and so forth. But weight management, or if you want to say fat loss, is a 24-hour thing. And if you eat enough protein, the science says that helps you to burn more calories when you're at rest. And that's why it's so important. And when you understand that and you add protein into your life, and those changes start to happen, then you can be even like less strict in a way. Not saying to eat whatever you want, but you can kind of step back and, realize if you have an off day. I don't believe in cheat days, by the way, but if you have an off day or something, it's not as big a deal. I'm going to talk about that and how protein plays a role in blood sugar regulation as well. But if you have an off day or so, okay, you're eating more protein, so you can make up for that loss a lot better with adequate protein. So think about that. That's the same reason why we should weight lift more than cardio. Cardio is important for our overall health, any exercises, but weightlifting and building muscle, especially when combined with adequate protein, helps you to burn more at rest. I'm sorry, I almost said the wrong thing there. Burn more at rest. And if you burn more at rest, you're setting yourself up for success. So that's the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to protein. The next is blood sugar regulation. And this is very important, especially when we're talking about quote unquote cheat days. Adding protein into your meals, that helps you to keep your blood sugar steady, especially when you add in fibers and healthy fats, right? That is very important, because when you eat foods, even complex carbs, there's more of a insulin spike, a blood sugar spike, and insulin response. But when you add protein into your diet, that tends to slow that down. And if that slows down your blood sugar, which of course aids in blood sugar regulation, my apologies, then you're again setting yourself up for success. So don't forget that. I've known many people that they juice, and I think juices is amazing. And I think detox is amazing. And they eat some really good fruits and vegetables. And those are also very important, especially if you're not really eating, crappy stuff. You're actually eating natural good stuff. But you want to add protein into your life, because adequate protein combined with adequate fiber and fats, and then those micronutrients as well. I mean, you're really setting yourself up. So you need to make sure you're paying attention to that. Do not discredit the importance of adequate protein in your journey, especially if your goal is fat loss. So you combine that with the increased metabolism and increased heat. I mean, you are setting yourself up for success, right? The preservation of lean muscle mass. That's also very important, because amino acids, once protein is broken down to amino acids, that helps you to heal. And that helps you to maintain muscle and also build muscle. Now, I don't want to hear, especially from my wonderful females out there, oh, I don't want to look like a man. I don't want to build muscle. You have to build muscle. If you don't have to look like a bodybuilder, and in fact, most people look like bodybuilders. Not only are they in the gym all the time, but a lot of them, they take steroids. They take things, even if they have a genetic advantage, they take things to get to that next level. I've worked with so many people over the years that they realize way too late that they do not have adequate muscle mass, because adequate muscle mass also helps you with your movements on a day-to-day basis. It helps you to prevent injuries. As we get older and sarcopenia starts taking over and we start to lose muscle mass, that's when injuries start to happen. So if we're starting to lose muscle in our 30s, and then let's say you're living out of 50 years of losing muscle, I mean, that's tough. But if you consistently could continue, even if it's a pound every few months, you're not going backwards, you're just slowly going forward. You're setting yourself up for success, and adequate protein is very important in that. I work out, everybody knows your boy goes hard in the paint, and I still gain about a half a pound of muscle a month. And that's even a lot for someone who's been doing this for almost 20 years. That really is a lot. So imagine someone who has not done that much. It's really, really hard, right? Especially if you don't train that much. Now, in the beginning, you might see some beginner gains, and people kind of lose their minds, and they're like, oh, I lift a little bit, and now look at all this muscle. No, you're seeing pump. You're not seeing muscle. True, if you test your body, true lean muscle, you realize that's pump. Okay. Now, or even like you may get some beginner gains like in the first month or two, but that slows down. Everybody who's been training for a long time is going to tell you that slows down. But those are the three things. And within those, we talk about the thermogenic component of it. And we talk about blood sugar and everything. These all these together are reasons that you need to know why protein is important to you. Now, everybody wants the recommendation, right? Here we go. Recommendation. 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. That may sound a lot. Okay, let me give you an example. If your goal is to weigh 120 pounds, you need at least 120 grams of protein, or even around there. Because if you train 6 days a week, you might even need more than that. If your goal is 160 pounds, at least 160 grams of protein. Because people have said to me, I can't eat as much protein as you. I'm like, you're right. You cannot eat as much protein as I do. But we're different sizes. So I might weigh 30, 40, 50 pounds than you. So you're not going to eat as much as I do. So again, you want to eat 1 gram per your goal body weight. Now, for women, I should say about 30 to 35 grams of protein per meal, probably closer to 30. If you weight lift, you can probably push it a little bit, or if you're an athlete. And for males, about 40 grams of protein per meal. And just, be consistent with that. So if you're a bodybuilder, for example, you may even need more if you're an intense athlete, right? So if you're like 5 meals a day, you're looking at over 200 grams of protein, depending on what your size is. But you can kind of play with that as long as you get at least that math of 1 gram per ideal or a pound of ideal body weight. And it's that easy. Now, one caveat I want to tell you: don't jump from a very low protein diet to a high protein diet. You don't get those protein farts. Your body will not have adequate enzymes to break it down. You might actually have some discomfort, some weight gain. A lot of things can happen. So if you look at where you are, if you usually eat 10 grams per meal, maybe I put it up to 15 and give it about a week. Let your body adjust and just slowly keep adjusting until you can get to that ideal spot, because you'll realize that over time your body should adjust. Unless now there are times you may have a very bad gut environment, really, really extremely low enzymes, underlying health issues. All those things can play a role. So that's why you have to kind of start where you are and slowly move up. And if you have health issues, you may also want to talk to a dietitian or like a medical professional to just be very careful before you make any changes. Don't just say Zeco says, because your boy doesn't want to get canceled or even have a lawsuit on his hands, right? But you have to put all those things together, and then the changes start to happen. So this is your boy Narado Zeco Powell. Thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you for watching. Go get more protein.